The time right now is 12:05. The Senate is expected to vote on another health care proposal today. Find out if the repeal-only plan is likely to pass in just a couple of minutes. Thanks so much for joining us this morning here on Fox 54 News Now. I'm Shaquille Lord, and let's jump straight into news with a developing story out of Richmond County. The Sheriff's Office and other agencies are investigating a death at an assisted living facility. 59-year-old Edward Dath was found dead at Dynasty Personal Care Home on Kings Grant Drive in Augusta yesterday morning. He was last seen alive on Monday, and during the investigation, the Sheriff's Office and Coroner's Office noticed what they're saying is obvious violations and called in other agencies to help. A code enforcement official tells Fox 54 that agents from his office did inspect the property. Staying in Richmond County, District Attorney Natalie Payne is trying to persuade commissioners to approve 3 more ADA positions. District Attorney Payne says currently, public defenders have more experience than the prosecutors, which is unusual. There aren't many with more than 4 years of experience. Payne says the inexperience of her team comes down to a lack of pay, as 2 employees recently left.
One veteran attorney might be able to do certain things on their own. It might take 2 inexperienced attorneys to be able to accomplish the same tasks.
One committee decided not to approve the positions, which means next week the full commission will have the last say. If approved, the positions wouldn't be funded with taxpayer dollars. Instead, it will come from the DA's budget. Martin Shkreli says on social media that he's being railroaded at his securities fraud trial. Jurors heard testimony from the government's last witness on Tuesday. Closing arguments are expected later this week. Shkreli is best known for raising the price of a life-saving drug by 5,000%. He's facing unrelated charges that he lied to investors in a pair of failed hedge funds. Going to Washington, the Senate will soon vote on whether to enact only part of their promise to repeal and replace Obamacare. Senators are expected to cast a vote on a repeal-only proposal today, but it's not expected to pass. Late last night, the Senate rejected a proposal that would repeal and replace large portions of the Affordable Care Act and make changes to Medicaid. It died on a 43-57 vote. Earlier on Tuesday, the Senate successfully opened debate on health care after Vice President Pence cast a tie-breaking vote. Senator John McCain returned from Arizona after his brain tumor diagnosis. He cast a necessary Republican vote for the motion. He also sided with most Senate Republicans who voted to replace the health care law. President Trump's former campaign chairman will not be testifying today before the Senate Judiciary Committee as originally scheduled. The committee withdrew its subpoena for Paul Manafort after he agreed to turn over documents to continue negotiating about setting up an interview. The committee also removed Donald Trump Jr. from the list of witnesses scheduled for today's public hearing. The panel wanted to talk to Manafort about a June 2016 meeting in New York with a Russian lawyer. The time right now is 12:08. Suspected smugglers got creative as they tried to bring in some slithery cargo into the country. Find out what was found inside this canister in just a couple of minutes.